Hello, fellow wanderers. My name is Uthris. Welcome back to another episode of Vintage Story. We're here, chilling on our new bed that I found between the episodes. I don't know if I mentioned I upgraded leather last episode or not. It's been a little while since I recorded, but a lot of time has passed in our cabin here between the episodes. We are now at October. The 1st of October has arrived, which means we're basically into the fall stage. Look at all these beautiful colors that you get in Vintage Story during fall. The days are getting shorter, more sleeping is happening. I have progressed the magic system a little bit. I have progressed our farm capabilities and animal husbandry. We actually have a pregnant female pig, so that's going to yield results for us, I think, by the end of this in-game month, which will be great, because we'll need to start stocking up for winter soon, and getting a nice meat supply going is going to be ideal. I started a little farm down here by the river, since we can't move water source blocks, so I've just been watering it here along the coast. We're growing some rye, and we're growing some parsnips. They're very hardy plants with very good temperature tolerance, down to -10, and this one, down to -12. So that's gonna be a nice little fall harvest for us, having some rye to kind of store, potentially make some bread this winter. Otherwise, we have this thing to try and unlock today. This is an inert ancient monolith that we can use magical wands to stabilize into the world. They spawn within rift portals. I don't know anything about them. I just know that if I add a rusty gear, it does something. So that is something we'll have to figure out as well. Walled in the workshop a little bit, using some gate pieces and things. That way it's a little secure. We can actually do some tasks out here in the workshop. Added a side door to the main room of the cabin, and otherwise I've just been kind of surviving. We have a little bit of capped food, using honey or beeswax to seal it, and we also have a little bit of spoiled food to try and get through before it goes bad. So what I want to do is actually talk to you guys a little bit about the Rustbound Magic mod. I learned a lot between the episodes as I've been running around and kind of surviving and doing menial tasks, but essentially what I did not realize, I'll start by saying I've played the previous version of this mod, Rustbound Magic, before, and the old book kind of already had a lot of topics unlocked for you. So you can kind of read through kind of everything at once. What they've done is to essentially work in extra tabs through an achievement system. So when I finally made an Arcanist, I learned about wand spell casting, and then learned about ancient world magic and things like that. There's some other upper talents that I need to get. I need to research all magical blocks, research all ancient artifacts, all these things. But casting and crucibles, this is stuff that we'll have to start getting into. Ritual magic, specifically so that we can get some flint going, which I think I have a few sigils of creation now. Well, I have some utility frames. I think sigils of creation is actually napping. Yes. I believe so. Here's creation. So let's nap this out real quick. And maybe look into doing our first magic ritual, because I need obsidian to really get started. So if I look at the ritual here for creation, flint to obsidian, 2 flint to 1 obsidian. We can do batches of 4 with sigil of creation 1. So let's look into doing that. Well, we need white magic rune, orange rustic mana torch. So we need to make some rustic mana torches. I can't make a light mana torch just yet because I don't have the stuff, like the correct things, I don't think, to make these items yet. So we'll start with a level 1, hopefully get 4 obsidian, which will then allow us to kind of start making some other items. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm really winging this a lot. Ooh, a lot of sigilry. Do we actually have to know what sigil to use? How am I supposed to know what sigil to use? Is it this? Boom, 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 boom. Let's look. Draw specific patterns. Items in our blocks to be transformed into major rituals or primary rituals, minor rituals, or lesser rituals that can exchange one object to another. Okay. And their desired sigil. When we perform the ritual, place the sigil down. Remember the direction you place the sigil. Oh, right click while holding magic chalk. Alright, I think that's what I'll have to do. So we'll have to follow some sort of blueprint based on the sigil I have down here. So let me clear the area of grass. Okay. Oh. Okay, that should do it. And then I need 4 batches. So how much flint is that? That's just 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What do I do now? Do I transmute it? That's what you would do in the old version. Okay. Read. Place the sigil down. Remember the direct decay or toggle highlighted black. Do not throw stacks of items out. Okay, then cast the spell transmutation on the center block. Yes. So crouch with my little wand. Do a little bit of magic here. I love the new magic animations. Oh. All the items were consumed and we get 4 obsidian stone. Nice. Primordial fragment. I haven't gotten any of these. Yeah, sacrifice them to the ether. Alright. The stretch roll is ready to complete throughout the regents. And then cast transmute. Let's see if it works. Nice. Primordial fragments. And now we need to make some rustic compound, which you need rot for, which is an interesting new requirement for this mod. That you need rot for stuff. Okay. Wow, spent like almost the whole day on a couple rituals. It's good to figure that out. In fact, let's figure out this thing. It says if I insert a rusty gear, it activates it. Well, let's do that. And then maybe we can meditate and learn something from it. Whoa. Resonates with the rust. Charge ancient monolith. Let's meditate. It's glowing? I like that. Nice. Discover new knowledge. Max mana increased by 3. That's a cool way to gain max mana in this. What happens if I insert another rusty gear? That's the question. Or do I have to find another monolith with a different symbol on it? If so, I'm going to have to bring a sketch pad around. So this is kind of a sideways triangle with a dot on the bottom. Oh, charge ancient monolith. Share your knowledge with the... Okay, it's glowing. Ooh, I didn't learn anything. Okay, so I do need to find more of these guys. Oh, another thing I wanted to point out, I did this to the chimney. This is something new with 1.20, and it's something that I mentioned. But chimneys, the block that is, you know, hasn't really had utility before, if you put a chimney directly above a fire pit with just air in between the two, when you light the fire pit, look at this. It's actually going to turn on the chimney now. This is like the coolest thing ever for me. Now, obviously, I still have the decorative chimney mod from Chisel Tools, but this is an actual working chimney that will turn on and off based on usage, which I'm getting spam texts. All right, cool. So we got a little bit of a plume coming out there, and I made that chimney by just sacrificing some brick from the local ruins. Okay. This little day is coming to an end. We'll get ready to sleep and everything, but I wanted to show you guys how much I've kind of explored around between the episodes, just kind of talk about that a little bit. Obviously, I was able to get an aged wooden bed, which lets us sleep for 9.5 hours, which is great for the winter time, since night lasts longer. It helps you kind of sleep through that. But based on just the map alone, check this out, all right? I went on a big sailing excursion looking for obsidian because I didn't know about the creation ritual. So I sailed down this whole coast. We found a whole slew of mushrooms up through here, and then followed the coast, found a little bit of a trader, marked some blue clay down here, and then just kept sailing around this giant, yeah, you know, you don't want to say ocean, but really it's more like a gulf. This huge water area. You can see I didn't cut across the middle. I just went around the coast. But we got some cool stuff, okay? We got some cool stuff. Number one, look at that. Look at that explorable massive ruin to try and steal resources from. We also, in one of the ruins that I kind of explored at, I found a map to an abandoned mine. So this is part of the Better Ruins mod. So we will add that to my world map. Oh. So now I know there's an abandoned mine up there. That's a decent ways away. I mean, it's definitely across the water. That's almost 8,000 blocks from our current spot. So that's pretty crazy. Just a little bit of an evening pour going on here for some copper. As we kind of chill at night, you know. With how quick it gets dark out, it's kind of a good time to do some blacksmithing and things in the evening. There we go. So, get us a couple more copper ingots. I need to start our mine shaft, which might be something we start today's episode too. A little bit of magic, a little bit of digging around, you know. So let's go ahead and sleep. Okay, so here we are at the area where we will start the mine. So we'll just come down here to the smooth stone section. And I think I'm going to start it over here. Get rid of this shrub. We might have to long term kind of clear this place out a little bit just to make it look a little bit better. I'm not going to bring support beams because what I'm going to show you is kind of the first step. And the first step is what I like to call kind of the vertical shaft method, you know. So this nice column here is probably going to be good for us. So we'll start a ladder, and then we're going to dig straight down. The one thing you don't do in other block games, dig straight down. So we're going to dig down here a little ways first. We're going to get down, you know, unlike other games, there's not really specific height levels that ore spawn at, or have a higher chance to spawn at, but they definitely spawn kind of a little bit deeper, at least starting in the rock layer. Not really close to sea level in general, because that's just, they would be considered almost a surface deposit at that point, and all deposits are a fair amount deeper into the system. So just like normal, you can kind of skip every other ladder placement. You can go down here just fine. We're going to get a decent amount of stone, which is kind of nice for cobble, pathways, things like that. So I'll be collecting all this. And now that I'm decently down, okay, you can see the music kind of shifts too to more of a cave. Kind of eerie quiet. Now we will start prospecting around to see what's there. So what I do is in between the ladders, I'm going to prospect in every cardinal direction, 4 blocks, and on the 5th one, I'll break it with a prospecting pick using node search mode. Okay. Again, if you're not using node search mode, you're going to have to start making test shafts and really go through pickaxes to try and find ore. But if you have node search mode on, it basically pings from the block you break with the pickaxe a certain radius from that block, whatever your config set to, and will tell you if there's any results. So if we break this one over here, just like this, it'll tell us no ore. Okay, well, let me go 4 blocks this way then, because I think the default radius is 6 blocks, so you kind of want a good distance between these. Do another little ping here. And boom, no ore nodes. Now because it's a radius, you know, I'm not going to go down just 2 blocks and then do this left, right, up, down prospect again, because I just don't need to. It's kind of covered in the radius. So because I place every other ladder, I generally go 4 or 5 ladder placements before I prospect again. And then this is essentially a vertical kind of shaft method to start a mine in this game. And once you find kind of results, we'll go over what to do next. Okay, cool. We just hit one. So I just prospected. We're at Z level 69 now. Our first one was at Z level 88. So I just hit trace amounts that way. And if I go the opposite direction, let's see if it increases. And you're going to get different verbiage with this mode of the prospect pick compared to the density search, the first mode. You're going to get more of a hot, cold reading, right? Trace amounts, that one there is a large. So that means it's not that direction. It is probably that direction. But I always hit all 4 sides. Sometimes it's at an angle from where you're at, and you have to kind of work that out by essentially doing a big game of hot and cold. I do a little bit of a grid search method, just like how I did at the surface with density search mode, to kind of roll out things. So these two both hit large, so we're definitely going to go probably in this direction once we're ready to do so. However, it's dangerous to do so because I don't have support beams. So we need to go get support beams. Okay, back with the actual tools. So I'm going to go this direction first. This was the first direction that we found it. The result. Just to shore up, because we're going to be digging at this level a little bit, I am going to go ahead and just add a support beam to the ceiling and keep going. I've never really had a cave-in happen. In theory, it can definitely happen when you're doing a 1x2 tunnel like this. in my experience, it only happens while you are kind of in weaker rocks is when you're going to do cave-ins by doing a 1x2 like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a torch down, marking the first large reading that I got. Okay. And then I'm going to dig out, 4 from there, and then do another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we want to know how far in this direction does that reading hold true, that large reading. So we'll go ahead and ping on this rock down this way. Okay, we're still getting large. That's cool. We like that. And then you're just gonna go ahead and clean up the pathway down to here. And what we're looking to do is, since this is starting point, right? We're looking for the second point so that we can come up with a middle reading, right? Now, I could get absolutely lucky and just straight up find copper while doing this, in which case it's not going to explain to you guys what I'm doing. But here you can see I'm getting no ore node nearby. So I'll cut the distance in half from this next test shaft. Do another prospect. We get small. Do a prospect then here. Okay, we're kind of at large again. So basically from where I'm standing to that original torch, we go about halfway. And now I want to go ahead and support this point. Okay. I'm fairly confident there's nothing above us because we came from above, right? Like, I'm fairly confident in that in this stage. So we'll go kind of east-west now based on the minimap direction. I'm going to go this way because this is where we got the other large reading first, because behind me most likely will be the tail end of where we were. Okay, cool. We're hitting very large now. So it's definitely more this way. Kind of like as we expected when we first found the initial reading. It's kind of at that 45-degree angle. So we're getting very large, which is nice. That means we're narrowing it down. It will go up to huge, I believe, or bountiful. One of those two verbiage. I don't know yet. I'll know it when I see it, of course. Okay, and we're back to large already. So and we'll say very large is there. So a very narrow band, a very large, probably somewhere this direction. Now at this point, I could do another test shaft kind of forward and back, which I'm going to do. I think I'll start it here. I think that's fine. So again, every time I do a corner, I tend, like, and where I'm doing like more than just a hallway, I tend to add a support just for safety reasons. So I'm gonna do a ping, essentially again, just forward and back here, just to kind of see what it does. It'll probably be a short one. Okay, we're back to large that way. And then if I go north, we're kind of at very large. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over 2 blocks. Because I'm kind of guesstimating. I'm kind of using my experience in finding these things. So at this point, I think we're either above or below the ore deposit at some capacity. So again, I'm going to support the nearby roof. And at this point, I'll add a light source down this way. And I will probably, I don't know what happened to all my packed dirt. Would add a light source here. Let's see how dark it is without light sources. Okay, yeah. Really would block this off, but for now it's safe enough. It's lit up kind of enough to where at least I can see if there's mobs near me. So now I'm going to go ahead, just on a whim, I'm going to go up 2 blocks and then prospect, just to see what the reading does. You know, this is not a required step. This is just something that I like to do to kind of rule out a reading. You notice I'm staying kind of away from it, just in case a cave-in happens. Okay, no ord. So yeah, like I thought, I didn't think it was above us. I think it's below us at this phase. So now I will just kind of dig down. And rinse, repeat this exact process. You know, I'll dig down maybe like 3 or 4 blocks. I'll do another prospect. And if it doesn't increase, then, oh, no, we just hit it. So that's fine too. That's exactly why I do this kind of grid search. Just for that reason. So here I'm going to just solid off the whole ladder. Okay, and we found our copper deposit. Check it out. We got medium copper and peridotite. It's really not much different than having a surface deposit. However, these tend to be much larger. And to show you guys how large they can kind of be, I'm just going to mine in a rough area here, just to kind of see where it goes, left, right, top, down. Because we don't have much pickaxe durability at the moment, so I doubt I'm going to be able to expose the whole vein or get a crazy amount of digging. These ores also kind of spawn in discs, and they can be kind of at a slight angle. So maybe some of the ore deposit is 1 or 2 blocks down from you, and some of it might be 2 blocks up from you. But they tend to be kind of disc in shape. Oh, actually, we hit rich right there too. Nice. So it's a mixed ore vein here, it looks like. We're getting rich, and you can find double veins. Double veins can be a thing, for sure. Here, so you're just really seeing how much copper there is to potentially extract by me doing this. Let's just throw a torch here just for later. And we'll go this way, you know, again. So these are really worth doing, you know. You get a lot more ore by creating actual mines. I could probably get in these settings because it's a little bit more of an easier setting that I'm playing on. I could find a fair amount of surface deposits for sure and be just fine. However, you can see here just how much there is in one spot. And then of course we can do the exact same trick that we did find this one to find another nearby ore vein within this same mine shaft, you know? Because what I'll end up doing is once I clear all this copper out and store it, I'll start prospecting at the edges of this ore vein. See if there's any residuals left, you know? And then you can kind of potentially get on a bit of a hot streak and find another and open up a new vein. So you can see, you know, it's a fairly large little disc of medium/rich copper. It's a little bit rare to find double quality in here, so it just might be on top of a rich vein. So this might be a small medium vein, and then there's a rich vein kind of beside it over this way. But yeah, a fair amount of copper from this, for sure. And rich is great, you know, for our yields. So I'll go ahead and get working on getting all this cleared out and shored up, maybe lit up a little bit. Again, this is definitely a step that I wouldn't do normally at this stage, lighting it up with oil lamps, but just for my safety, I'll go ahead and do so. So, decently lit. Things could still spawn in here, but that's okay. That's what weapons and armor's for, right? Alright, well, you know what? I'll go ahead and head out here. I need to get my character some food. I need to get ready for some other things. I think next episode is going to be talking about winter prep. Ooh, you can hear that shiver. Pretty scary. Also, since we're attached to a cave system here, I want to make sure that I get out of the mine in the daytime. Otherwise, you're going to get Jeffs at the surface. But yeah, no. So that's prospecting. That's a little bit of magic for you. I'll keep working on the save. And thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. If you are, feel free to subscribe. Hit that like button. Become a member and supporter of the channel down below. And we'll see you all in the next episode. Take care.